I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and part 2 of the LG Nexus 4, also known as the Google Nexus 4 full review, starts in just a second. But first, special thanks to our partners at Best Buy Mobile for giving us devices like the Nexus 4 for use during One Paw Bandit giveaway game. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you won't deal with rebates, waiting 8 to 10 weeks for paperwork and debit cards and all that garbage. You'll walk out with your Nexus 4, whatever device you get at Best Buy Mobile, without dealing with mail-in rebates. Let's take a look. LG Nexus 4. Is this a device to get, or should you go with one of the other myriad of Android or Windows Phone 8 devices this holiday season? We'll find out in part 2 of the review, which starts right now. Part 2 of a review of the Nexus 4. Now, this thing is stock Android to the core. It's a Nexus device, but interestingly enough, Google has kind of been trying to transition the Nexus brand, at least a little bit in terms of their marketing on TV, from a kind of nerdy, techie brand, which is still what it is, to a brand that's, a little bit more appealing to consumers. And that said, Android 4.2, I think in a lot of ways is not ready for the mainstream consumer. I think it's too washed out. I don't think it's ready. It's very polished in comparison to older versions of Android. That said, it still lacks some software benefits that come from user interfaces like TouchWiz, Sense, and Motorola's user interface. They really do a great job. They've continued to improve over the years, and I think you get better value out of Sense and TouchWiz. But you know what? If you're a stock Android person, you love that look and feel of Android and how it rolls, and the stock version, this could be the device for you. This thing is packing a 1.5 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon S4 Pro processor. You got a 2,100 milliamp hour non-removable battery, Android 4.2, no 4G LTE on this device though, so that's something that is interesting to you. You may want to look at the Note 2, the Droid DNA, a couple of those other devices on the market, the HTC One X Plus, and more. Let's jump right into Quadrant Standard and take a look, and this is something that kind of surprised me. Keep in mind, a 1.5 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon S4 Pro CPU. Let's start it back up, and let's run the full benchmark, and I'll give you an idea of how it performs. Let's talk a little bit about call quality too. A couple of things I've noticed. The battery life is not great on this device by any means. It charges relatively fast. That said, the battery's non-removable, so if you're a road warrior, you're somebody that relies on either pulling that battery out or making it through the day on a full charge, this may not be the device for you. And even if you do get this device, be sure to get a car charger or a spare charger for the office and just plug it in when you're around. I found that I could get about 10 hours of moderate use of this device with the screen set to, I'd say about 3/4 the brightness all the way to the top. It's about 75% brightness there, 60 to 75%. Text messaging, email, browsing the web, Google Play, downloading apps, and more. So keep that in mind. Again, not the best battery life in the world, but keeping in mind the price point, it's really kind of hard to go wrong with this device. I think for a lot of people it's going to be like, bad battery, yeah, but it's $299. This is an issue, yeah, but it's $299. I think that's going to be the rebuttal that a lot of people make, and again, stock Android is a great option for quite a few. So it's definitely an impressive device all around. The price point's great. The build quality on this device is fantastic. That's something I can't underscore enough. It feels really good in the hand. It's got a nice feel to it. It's got a glass look and feel. And you know what? It's relatively it's completely logo free on the front. It's got the notification button or notification light down at the bottom. But this is what's interesting. 4,969 on Quadrant Standard. Take it with a grain of salt. It's not always indicative of day-to-day performance, but keeping in mind that devices like the Droid DNA and the Note 2 and some of these other devices, the Optimus G even gets up between the 7,000 and 9,000 scores on Quadrant Standard. It's kind of odd that this one gets as low as it does. So that's something I would take a look at if you're interested in buying this. If you can even get your hands on it. It's hard to get at google.com/Nexus. They keep running out, and I'm convinced it's because they're just releasing a few thousand to sell at a given point. They're trying to create demand. But you know what? You never know. Maybe there is actual demand for this device. I know there's demand in the nerd community. I'm not quite sure there's demand in the regular consumer community, though. But that is my take on it. No verification there. That is not written fact. Here we go on speed test. This is HSPA Plus on T-Mobile. So keep in mind, not LTE, but you're going to get speeds that are relatively decent. We're testing the ping now. I don't know why it's running so slowly. It is 5 o'clock, so it's rush hour in Dallas right now. Tollway's backed up, LBJ's backed up. That could be playing a role on some of the nearby cell sites. But download, I've seen anywhere between 8 and 12 megabits per second on HSPA Plus on T-Mobile. Upload, 1 to 4 on this device. So that's what I would expect out of this. 3,123, that's terrible ping though, so something must be going on. There we go, jumping right up to about 9 megabits per second. I forgot to switch it from kilobits to megabits per second, but about 5,400, so about 5.4 megabits per second on the download, but you saw it kind of skyrocket up to about 10 megabits per second there for a minute, and now it's back down. Upload about 1 megabit per second. And let's see what it finishes at, and then we'll jump right into the camera. There are some cool camera features on Android 4.2. We saw some of those in the Galaxy Nexus Android 4.2 walkthrough. I'm going to recap some of those in this review. First of all, you can see the camera looks a little bit different. Of course, I can easily swipe from the camera to the gallery where I took a picture of the cat in the sink. because my cat is crazy. And so you can see pinch to zoom, no lag whatsoever, nice and fast, and I like the fact that you can easily swipe back and forth between the live camera. This is something that was pioneered by Windows Phone and continues over on iOS and on Android now. So you kind of see the lens here, no physical camera button, it's on screen, and I can snap it and move on. So I've got a couple of different options here. HDR, I can flip it around to the front-facing camera, take those pictures if I so desire, and I can tap anywhere. I can tap here. We'll bring it back to the front. And of course I can tap and kind of focus in wherever I want to, depending on what my focus is in the picture. Scene mode, score location, picture size, and you'll notice the on-screen buttons go away when I go into that mode after a little bit. We'll go back here. And you'll see that the buttons should go away in just a second. I don't know why they went away that one time and are not now. I've seen them go away before. Not quite sure what's happening there. And then of course down here, Photosphere, which is the weirdest program ever. I'm not quite sure the benefit of this by any means, but I can line it up and take random pictures like that. And I can't really find a good use case for this, but it's something that's cool. And so you can see, and it just kind of looks weird, as you can see there, but you can create this full photosphere and put these on Google+. And I mean, I would give it credit. It's a pretty cool feature, but still, see I'm lining it up to the dots here and syncing it up like that. You can put those on Google+, like I said, and then you got a couple of different options as well within the camera. You've got that, you've got panorama mode, and more. So a lot of different camera options. Outside of that, you got kind of a stock Google look and feel here. Pardon me while I pull it away to make sure no numbers pop up from missed calls that have dialed the SIM card in this, but you can see stock Google look and feel here. I can swipe over to my contacts. It shows Alexis Stevenson, Stephanie Hammersmith, frequently called, all these fake contacts I have, and I can scroll back and forth. Contacts as well, we'll go in here and people, here it is. And there are all my people, typical Android look and feel with the blue colors and the white background. No real changes there. You can see a nice big picture for Stephanie Hammersmith. And then when you get into text messaging, if you have text messages, they'll show pictures on the corner as well. So impressive all around. Last but not least, let's talk about Google Now. It continues over here, and we'll talk about the lock screen as well. You can see the clock first of all. Let me scroll out, or unlock and relock. And let me try to go over. There we go. I can create widgets from the lock screen directly. So messaging is one I added. I can access the camera really quickly and easily, or I can click the clock and go right into the clock. But I like this ability as well. So let's say I'm checking a message. I don't want to go all the way on the phone. All I have to do is swipe. If I have text messages, they show up right there. I can add another one over here. Let's say Gmail, for example. And we'll bring in the inbox. And I can pop that right there and show it on the home screen. So you know what? I don't want to unlock the device. I just want to see my email, for example. Let's say I get an email. I don't feel like unlocking it. I can swipe over from messaging to inbox, and then I can use the widget and scroll back and forth in real time. And then if I want to click a new message, it'll unlock it and then go into a new message for me. But that's a really cool feature. I like that a lot because I find myself checking my phone on a regular basis for messages, for emails, etc. I don't have to fully unlock it. I can just swipe back and forth. And if at any point I want Google Now, I press and hold right here and access Google Now. What is the weather like?
It's 79 degrees and partly cloudy in Dallas.
So I can check weather. Tell me the score of the Dallas Mavericks.
The Mavericks beat the Pistons 92-77.
Woohoo! Find me on Twitter at Aaron C. Baker. That one did not work out as well as I would have liked it to. But you get the idea. Google Now is fantastic. It's continuing to improve, and it's a nice feature that kind of learns what you do. It can tell you driving directions on a regular basis from home. It'll put your weather information in the notifications area from time to time. My new favorite, if you're tracking a package, you put in the tracking number. It'll keep you updated on the package status as the days go on. Really impressive all around for Google Now, and really impressive for the LG Nexus 4. So all in all, you know what? This is a device I'd recommend, but I'd recommend this device to a very specific type of customer. I'd recommend this to somebody that loves stock Android, that's a fan of the way it looks, and don't get me wrong, it's hugely improved, vastly improved from Gingerbread, from Froyo, from Eclair, from all these previous versions of Android. That said, it needs some work, at least in the software side, because I look at this and I'm like, you know what, $300. I look at something like the Note 2, I look at something like the 1X Plus, and I'm like, you know what, the software features that I get in these S-Beam, all these little nifty software features where it's like you tilt it to access the camera or you palm swipe to screenshot. These are things where I'm like, why didn't Google just implement this stuff in their own OS? Granted, this is intended to be clean, easy, and fast, That's going to be great for people that love hacking their device. That's even going to be great for people that like stock Android and don't even want to hack. But for those people that are looking on a carrier, and let's be honest, in America, that's how you buy your phone, regardless of how you like it or not. Carriers sell phones. And I think that's why these devices long-term are going to sell better than the Nexus 4. Still a great option for a lot of people. If they really want this platform to take off, they really want it to take off, they're going to have to convince carriers to keep it unlocked, to keep it in the look and feel of this, and sell it in a carrier-branded store. Then they'll start making significant gains in terms of selling a ton of devices. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage of the Nexus 4. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. PhoneDog_Aaron is the work account. Aaron C. Baker is the personal account. Let me know what you think of the Nexus 4. And if it's a device you're going with this holiday season, hit me up on Facebook as well, Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Let me know what you think of this device. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, we'll see you next time.